Hello children, welcome to online classes. Today I am going to explain synopsis from aldehydes, ketones, carboxylic acids and amines from second year organic chemistry. Organic compounds containing C double bond O are called carbonyl compounds. The carbon gets partial positive charge, oxygen gets partial negative charge. The carbon is called carbonyl carbon or electrophilic carbon. If carbonyl carbon is attached to at least one hydrogen, that is called aldehyde. If carbonyl carbon is attached to two carbons, the carbonyl compound is called ketone. Coming to the nomenclature for aldehydes, RCHO is the general representation of aldehydes. General molecular formula for aldehydes and ketones CnH2nO. Carbon present in CHO should be taken as a number 1 carbon. This is chain terminating functional group. First you select the root word alk, primary suffix in or yn, followed by secondary suffix is al. Next, for ketones, RCOR, including carbon. First you select the longest carbon chain and then smallest locant should be there for the carbonyl carbon. Root word is alk, followed by primary suffix, followed by secondary suffix ONE. So before ONE or after ONE you have to mention the position of carbon in the form of carbonyl group. Common names, coming to the common name of aldehydes depends on the common name of carboxylic acids from which it is obtained by the reduction. Common name of ketones, alkyl ketone. By mentioning the names of both, you have to write ketone. So let us take few examples regarding nomenclature. The first member HCHO, meth oic acid, IUPAC name. Since this is obtained by the reduction of formic acid, its common name is formaldehyde. Coming to the smallest member of the ketones family, CH3COCH3. IUPAC name prop, primary suffix is ane, E of the ane is replaced with ONE. Propanone, common name is acetone or dimethyl ketone. Methyls are there on both the sides with respect to keto group. That's why dimethyl ketone. Coming to a few more examples. CH3CH3 CH double bond CHCHO. This is the longest carbon chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At fourth position methyl branch is there, substituent 4-methyl. Root word is pent, primary suffix is ene is at second carbon. 2 ene, 1 all you need not mention, just all is enough. That is understood whenever all is there, that is at first carbon. If ketone is there, CH3COCH3, first you select the longest carbon chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3-methyl butane 2-one. At second position, functional group is there, ONA. If both are present, one is taken as substituent, other one is functional group. So in this compound, there are two functional groups, CHO and keto. Between these two, seniority goes to aldehyde group. It has higher priority. So carbon present in CHO gets number 1. CHO is the functional group. 2, 3, 4. So now keto group acting as prefix substituent. Whenever it is acting as substituent, we have to use the prefix keto or oxo. 3-oxo, 2-methyl. So now there are two substituents. One is oxygen, other one is CH3. O comes before, here methyl should be written first. 2-methyl, 3-oxo, butane all. So whenever keto group along with the aldehyde group is there, keto group is taken as prefix substituent. In place of oxo, even you can write keto. If you are using keto, 3-keto written first. 3-keto, 2-methyl butanol in alphabetical order. For aromatic compounds, when CHO is directly attached to the benzene ring, this is common name is benzaldehyde, also taken as IUPAC name. Or you select this one as main carbon chain. C6H5 is substituent, phenylmethanol, phenylmethanol also you can take. Structure of carbonyl groups. The chemical properties mainly depend on the structure of carbonyl groups. Carbonyl group has polarity. Oxygen gets partial negative charge while carbon gets partial positive charge. It has two resonance structures. One is complete polar structure, other one is non-polar. So if you combine these two, you can get resonance hybrid. This is resonance structure. Resonance hybrid. Oxygen gets partial negative charge, carbon gets partial positive charge. Since carbon is having partial positive charge, it is philic towards electrons. That's why the carbonyl carbon of the CO group is also called electrophilic carbon. Next, methods of preparation of aldehydes and ketones. By the oxidation of alcohols. When alcohol is subjected to oxidation, let it be primary alcohol, so oxidizing agent like PCC or PDC you take, mild oxidizing agents. One hydrogen from oxygen, one hydrogen from carbon removed in the form of H2O. So removal of hydrogen or addition of oxygen is called oxidation. Between C and O, double bond is created. That is the method of preparation of aldehyde. Similarly, for ketones, take secondary alcohol. This is secondary alcohol. Same process. Even you can use strong oxidizing agent. Any oxidizing agent you can use, because once ketone is formed, that will not be oxidized further even by a strong oxidizing agent. So for the oxidation of 2-degree alcohol, even strong oxidizing agent like KMnO4 also you can use. Same process, 2 hydrogens are removed in the form of H2O. Then the product obtained is ketone. So this is important method for the preparation of aldehydes and ketones from alcohols by oxidation. Remember, for the preparation of aldehydes, you have to use mild oxidizing agents like pyridinium chlorochromate or pyridinium dichromate. Otherwise, if strong oxidizing agent is used, the formed aldehyde further oxidized. So aldehyde is weak. Further oxidation takes place if strong oxidizing agent like potassium permanganate is used. The aldehyde formed will be oxidized to carboxylic acid. That's why during the preparation of aldehyde, you have to use mild oxidizing agent. During the preparation of ketone, any oxidizing agent you can use, because once ketone is formed, it will not be undergo oxidation under normal conditions, even by strong oxidizing agents. Dehydrogenation of alcohols, removal of H2. Same procedure. When hydrogen is removed, H2 is removed by heating with copper at 300 degrees of centigrade. 2 hydrogens are removed. So this is not oxidizing agent because it is not supplying oxygen. Then one H2 molecule is removed. We can get aldehyde from primary alcohol. If it is secondary alcohol, this is secondary alcohol. On heating with copper, H2 is removed and ketone is obtained. If it is 3-degree alcohol, what happens? H2 elimination is not possible. Since H2 elimination is not possible, what happens? H from beta carbon, OH, not H, OH from alpha carbon, both are removed in the form of H2O. So dehydration takes place, producing ketone. So you remember, producing alkene. So when 3-degree alcohol is used, instead of dehydrogenation, dehydration takes place, producing alkene. That is about the preparation methods from alcohols. Next one, preparation of alcohols from alkenes by ozonolysis. When alkene is subjected to ozonolysis, during the ozonolysis, first ozone molecule is added, forming ozonide. Second, decomposition by H2O in the presence of zinc dust. So finally what happened? CC double bond is broken. Each carbon takes one oxygen through double bond. So we can get 2 carbonyl compounds. Both may be aldehydes, both may be ketones, or both may be, one may be aldehyde, one may be ketone. Let us take few examples. CH3 CH double bond CH2. If it is subjected to ozonolysis, you break the CC double bond, CH3 CH, and CH2 HCH. Each carbon takes one oxygen through double bond. So that is the method how to write the ozonolysis products. Sometimes they may give products, just you break the CO, break oxygen and connect 2 carbons to get alkene. One more example. Let us take this one. On ozonolysis, CH3CH one side, other side CH3CCH3. So attach oxygen to both the carbons. Carbon taking oxygen, here carbon taking oxygen. So one is acetone, other one is acetaldehyde. Sometimes when products are given, you have to guess the alkene. For that purpose, you have to remove 2 oxygens and connect both the carbonyl carbons through double bond. Next method, hydration of alkynes. Let us take acetylene. When acetylene gas is passed into the mixture of mercuric sulfate, sulfuric acid. At that time, water is added indirectly after breaking one pi bond. OH goes to one carbon, H goes to another carbon. But the formed product is unstable, since this is unstable enol form of the aldehyde or ketone. So since this is unstable form, it undergoes tautomerization immediately. As soon as enol form is produced, it undergoes tautomerization. During the tautomerization, enol form H is migrated to carbon, CC pi bond is shifted from CC to CO. So we can get CH3 left side, C double bond O. This is the method to prepare acetaldehyde. If you take propane, you can get another product. This is the method of preparation from alkynes by the hydration. Next one, Rosenmund's reduction. Name reactions are very important. Acid halide. This is acid halide. When acid halide is subjected to reduction by hydrogen in the presence of palladium, actually alcohol will be obtained, but the catalytic activity of palladium is suppressed by adding catalyst poison barium sulfate in the solvent quinoline. So the entire mixture is called Lindlar's reagent. So when acid halide is subjected to partial reduction by Lindlar's reagent, Cl is replaced with H. Reduction takes place forming aldehyde. This is Rosenmund's reduction. Next one, Stephen's reduction. When nitrile alkyl cyanide, IUPAC name of alkyl cyanide is nitrile, when it is subjected to reaction with the mixture of HCl and SnCl to stannous chloride and hydrochloric acid, pi bond is broken. Carbon and nitrogen both are taking hydrogens. Imine, aldimine is formed. This aldimine, after the formation of aldimine, it is subjected to hydrolysis. CN double bond is broken, producing RCHO. This is used for the preparation of aldehyde only. Preparation of benzaldehyde, aromatic aldehydes. One is Etod's reaction. When toluene is reacted with chromyl chloride in the presence of carbon disulfide, producing an intermediate, then that is subjected to hydrolysis. We can get benzaldehyde. Another method, when toluene, methylbenzene is oxidized with chromic oxide and acetic anhydride, CH3CO twice O, acetic anhydride, we can get a complex intermediate. That intermediate is subjected to hydrolysis to get benzaldehyde. And another method, when alkyl substituted benzene is reacted with chlorine in the presence of sunlight, UV light or above 500 degrees centigrade, what happens? Benzylic substitution takes place. Hydrogen atom from benzylic carbon only substituted with chlorine, because here chlorine free radical is produced. When 2 moles are taken, these two are taken in 1:2 ratio, 2 hydrogens are replaced with 2 chlorines. Benzyl chloride is obtained. On hydrolysis, what happens? 2 chlorines are replaced with 2 OH groups. Gem diol is obtained. We know gem diol is unstable. From these 2 OH groups, H2O is eliminated. Finally, the product obtained is nothing but benzaldehyde. Gattermann-Koch formulation for the preparation of benzaldehyde. When benzene is reacted with the mixture of carbon monoxide and HCl in the presence of AlCl3 halogen carrier, we can get benzaldehyde. So here, this is formylium ion is attacking electrophile, that you have to remember. Next, preparation of aromatic ketone, Friedel-Crafts acylation. When benzene is reacted with acid chloride, acid halide, in the presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride, H plus of benzene ring is replaced with RCO plus. RCO plus is also called acylium ion. So H plus is substituted by acylium ion to get alkyl aryl ketone. Aromatic ketones are obtained. Coming to the chemical properties, physical properties not that much important, just you go through the NCERT textbook. I will explain only the important points. Chemical properties of carbonyl compounds. Because of the polarity of the CO pi bond, this undergoes, carbonyl compounds undergo nucleophilic addition reaction. So mechanism of the nucleophilic addition reaction, the attacking reagent is NuE. Nu and E polar bond, Nu will become Nu minus, E will become E plus. So Nu minus we are taking it as nucleophile, E plus we are taking it as electrophile. Since carbon is electrophilic carbon and nucleophile Nu minus attacks at electrophilic carbon, pi electron pair is shifted over oxygen. So this is slow step, rate determining step. So this is the intermediate formed. sp2 carbon, planar molecule will become a non-planar due to sp3 hybridization at this carbon. After the formation of O minus oxide, O minus takes electrophile in the second step. This is fast step, and we can get the alcohol. Sorry. Okay, this is alcohol. The product is obtained. The totally compound obtained here in place of H better, since E plus we have taken, this is the product, addition product, not alcohol. If the electrophile is H plus, we can get alcohol. So this is the overall nucleophilic addition reaction. Since nucleophile is added at CO double bond in the beginning, in the rate determining step, the overall reaction is called nucleophilic addition reaction. So nucleophilic addition reactions are characteristic reactions of the aldehydes and ketones. Then some examples. Aldehyde, just you can pause the video and you can go through the reactions. That's why I have collected. When it is added to HCN, H goes to O and Cn minus attacks at electrophilic carbon. We can get cyanohydrin. When Cn and OH both are on the same carbon, the compound is commonly called cyanohydrin. With sodium bisulfite, we can get aldehyde sodium bisulfite if you take aldehyde. If you take ketone, ketone sodium bisulfite. Then reaction, addition reaction with alcohol, CO pi bond is broken and OH bond is broken. H goes to oxygen, OR goes to carbon. So on the same carbon, alkoxy group and hydroxy group both are there. Such type of compound is called hemiacetal. When 2 moles of alcohol taken, complete C double bond O is broken and 2 hydrogens from 2 alcoholic molecules get combined forming H2O. So 2 alkoxy group, for the differentiation I have given R prime. 2 alkoxy groups are at the same carbon. This type of compound, gem dialkoxy alkane is also called acetal. Instead of 2 molecules of alcohol, only 1 molecule which contains 2 OH groups, ethylene glycol, when taken in the presence of acid, it gives cyclic acetal. And nucleophilic addition reaction, condensation reactions. The meaning of the condensation reaction in which addition followed by elimination is called condensation reaction. Addition reaction takes place, after that elimination. Suppose RCOH plus H2NZ is taken. First addition reaction takes place. RCOH, H here, NHZ. I hope you are able to understand. This is addition product. After the formation of addition product, elimination takes place. OH from carbon, H from nitrogen, H2O addition, elimination takes place. We can get double bond between C and N. So this product is called condensed product. The reaction in which addition followed by elimination takes place is called condensation reaction. So these are all different examples for condensation reaction. So in place of Z, so when NH2Z is added to C double bond O, oxygen comes out, combines with two hydrogens. H2O molecule, a small molecule of H2O is eliminated. Between carbon and nitrogen, double bond is created. This is condensed product. So based on the difference in Z, in place of Z, if you take H, it becomes ammonia, and the product formed is nothing but aldimine. If you take ketone, ketimine. Next, in place of Z, if R is taken, it becomes 1 degree amine. The product obtained here is N-alkyl aldimine. This is also commonly called Schiff's base. In place of Z, if you take OH group, it becomes hydroxylamine. The product obtained is nothing but oxime. In place of Z, if you take NH2, it becomes hydrazine. The product is nothing but aldehyde hydrazone. Few more. In place of Z, NHC6H5 is taken. The entire molecule becomes phenyl hydrazine. So two hydrogens and oxygen removed as H2O. We can get aldehyde phenyl hydrazone. Similarly, 2,4 dinitrophenylhydrazine. When it is taken, the product obtained is aldehyde 2,4-DNP. Semicarbazide. When it is reacted with aldehyde, two hydrogens are removed. These two get combined. Semicarbazole. Semicarbazone is obtained. Next, reduction of aldehydes and ketones. Reduction to hydrocarbons as well as reduction to alcohols, both. When aldehyde or ketone carbonyl compound is reduced, we can get two types of products. If it is partial reduction, alcohol is the product. If it is complete reduction, alkane is the product. So C double bond O reduced in two ways. If two hydrogens only added, we can get alcohol. This is alcohol. If 4 hydrogens are added, more reduction, complete reduction. 2 hydrogens get combined with oxygen forming H2O, and 2 hydrogens are attached to carbon. The product is alkane. So aldehyde or ketone undergoes reduction in two ways, to give alcohol as well as to give alkane. When NaBH4, LiAlH4 or even hydrogen in the presence of nickel, these are used for aldehyde or ketone, that is reduced to alcohol. From aldehyde we can get primary alcohol. From ketone we can get secondary alcohol. That is the reduction of aldehydes and ketones to alcohols. Second way to reduce reduction to alkane, when aldehyde or ketone is reduced with zinc amalgam and HCl. Zinc amalgam and HCl, oxygen is replaced with two hydrogens. Removal of oxygen and addition of two hydrogens. That is nothing but reduction. Reduction gives RCH3. RCH3 is nothing but alkane. This process is specially called Clemenson's reduction. Next one, reduction by using hydrazine. So aldehyde gives aldehyde hydrazone as an intermediate compound that is reacted with base in the presence of ethylene glycol, that gives alkane. So here as an intermediate compound we can get aldehyde hydrazone. This is aldehyde hydrazone. So after the formation of this one, on reduction, N2 gas is separated and RCH takes two more hydrogens forming RCH3. This reaction is called Wolff-Kishner reduction. Next, oxidation of carbonyl compounds. When aldehyde is subjected to oxidation with any oxidizing agent like potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, even Tollens reagent, Fehling's reagent, any even mild oxidizing agent also, aldehyde easily O is inserted between C and H. forming carboxylic acid. But the oxidation of ketone is difficult, not easy, since no H attached to carbonyl carbon. So even though it is difficult, it can be oxidized by using strong oxidizing agent under vigorous conditions. When it is subjected to oxidation with strong oxidizing agent under vigorous conditions, breaking of the bond takes place. CC bond, one is carbonyl carbon. The terminal carbon from whatever the carbon removed will be converted into carboxylic acid. You remember, or C, you make this C as carboxylic acid. That is a product. Other one, R prime CH2CO, it will become R prime CH2COH. So we can get the mixture of two carboxylic acids. Next, oxidation of carbonyl compounds by using Tollens reagent and Fehling's reagent. We know ammonical silver nitrate is called Tollens reagent. When it is added, RCH2 undergoes oxidation to give carboxylic acid, and here Ag plus present in alkaline AgNO3 is subjected to reduction and precipitated as silver metal. This is also called silver mirror test. As soon as Tollens reagent is added to aldehyde, on the inner walls of test tube we can get a silver coating. That's why it is called silver mirror test. So alkaline copper ions, Cu2 plus ions present in Fehling's reagent. So when it is added to aldehyde, Cu2 plus ions get reduced to Cu1 plus. So the product obtained here is, along with carboxylic acid, is cuprous oxide. This cuprous Cu plus O2 minus. Cuprous oxide is red in color and precipitated. So whenever red precipitate is obtained from the given carbonyl compound with Fehling's reagent, that is aldehyde, if you get silver coating with Tollens reagent, that is aldehyde. If it is ketone, if the given carbonyl compound is ketone, you cannot get any test. So aldehydes only can give positive test with Tollens reagent and Fehling's reagent. Ketones do not give. This is used for the identification of aldehyde and ketone. Next, haloform reaction. This is very important. Trihalomethane is called haloform. Aldehyde or ketone containing alpha methyl group, if it is attached to C double bond O, such type of compound, when it is reacted with halogen in the presence of alkali, the alpha CH3 is converted into CHX3 haloform. It may be precipitated. The remaining part will become carboxylate, that is subjected to acidification to get carboxylic acid. Let us take few examples. CH3COH, when it is reacted with the chlorine in the presence of sodium hydroxide followed by acidification, what happens? You remove alpha CH3 in the form of CHCl3, chloroform is obtained. The other part is converted into acid, because second step acidification also we are using. HCO, to this HCO you add OH, you will get the answer. Similarly, CH3CO, CH2CH3, you take butanone. Since CH3CO group is there, it gives iodoform test. Iodine in the presence of base. Sometimes they may give like this also, IO minus. When iodine or halogen is reacted with alkali, we can get hypohalite, XO minus. Simply they may give XO minus also. You have to understand this is haloform test. So at this time, whether it gives haloform test or not, you have to recognize, since alpha CH3 is there, CH3 should be attached to carbonyl group of the aldehyde or ketone, that is converted into yellow colored precipitate of CHI3. And the remaining part, CH3, CH2, CO, this takes OH, forming propanoic acid. Next, the reactions due to alpha hydrogen. Alpha hydrogen present in aldehyde or ketone is acidic hydrogen. Because of the acidic hydrogen, Two aldehyde molecules undergo addition reaction followed by elimination in the presence of dilute alkali. So aldehyde molecules undergo condensation reaction because of the presence of alpha hydrogen. So to undergo an aldol condensation, two conditions minimum. One is at least one alpha hydrogen and another one is electron withdrawing group like C double bond O. So in the aldol condensation, two molecules of aldehyde undergo addition followed by elimination to give unsaturated aldehyde. Let us take two acetaldehyde molecules. Sorry, no need to use here. You break this CH bond and CO pi bond. Two molecules get combined in the presence of dilute alkali. The percentage of the alkali must be less than 20%. At this time, these two molecules undergo addition reaction, producing a specific compound. So now H, which is coming from alpha hydrogen of other aldehyde molecule attached to O, two carbons, alpha carbon and carbonyl carbon, get connected newly. This type of compound is called aldol. Since aldehyde group and OL group, OH group is there, this compound is called specially aldol. This is addition product. After the formation of addition product, if it is heated, aldol on heating, what happens? H from alpha carbon, OH from beta carbon, both are removed in the form of H2O, creating double bond between alpha and beta. So finally we can get condensed product alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde. This is also called here crotonaldehyde. So two molecules of aldehyde get combined to give aldol in the presence of dilute acid, which on heating gives alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde. The overall reaction is called aldol condensation. Crossed aldol condensation. If different aldehydes or aldehyde and ketone taken, such type of condensation is called crossed aldol condensation. Let us take propanaldehyde and acetaldehyde. One is propanaldehyde, another one is acetaldehyde. In the reaction between these two, when dilute alkali is added, alpha hydrogen migrated to oxygen indirectly, producing aldol. This is aldol. Aldol on heating undergoes elimination of H2O, CH3, CH2, CH double bond CH, CHO. You see alpha beta unsaturated compound is obtained. So this is called crossed product. Once acetaldehyde may act as substrate and propanaldehyde may act as reagent. At this time, you take acetaldehyde on left side. Final product only you can write. How to write the final product I will explain. You take two alpha hydrogens of one molecule and oxygen of other molecule. Two alpha hydrogens of one molecule and oxygen of other molecule together removed. So two steps are required here. Dilute alkali followed by heating. Two steps together I am writing. So remove oxygen from one molecule, two alpha hydrogens from other molecule. Just you combine both the carbons, carbonyl carbon and alpha carbon through double bond. Like this. So how to write the product directly? This is direct crossed product. Alpha beta unsaturated product is formed. So this is called crossed aldol condensation. Next, if alpha hydrogen is not there, the reaction is nothing but Kennegerose reaction. The aldehyde without alpha hydrogen on treating with concentrated alkali they undergo disproportionation reaction to give alcohol as well as carboxylic acid. Let us take formaldehyde. In formaldehyde, there is no alpha hydrogen. That's why two formaldehyde molecules on treatment with concentrated alkali like 50% potassium hydroxide, what happens? One carbon undergoes oxidation, other carbon undergoes reduction. Just for understanding purpose, I am giving this one. This is not actual mechanism. First, you break CH of one molecule, HC double bond O, OH. Formic acid is obtained. Actually, formate is obtained. After the formation of formate, one more step is used, that is acidification. So finally, we can get formic acid. And at another one, you break the CO pi bond. Two hydrogens already present. Now attach two hydrogens, one for oxygen, one for carbon. That is nothing but alcohol. So in between these two, one carbon is oxidized to carboxylation, other carbon is reduced to alcohol. Same carbon undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. That's why this type of reaction is called disproportionation reaction. Disproportionation reaction. So when alpha hydrogen is not present, Kenne-Jaros reaction takes place. Crossed Kenne-Jaros reaction. What happens if different aldehydes without alpha hydrogen taken? Let us take formaldehyde and another one benzaldehyde you take. In benzaldehyde also there is no alpha hydrogen. This is alpha carbon. At this alpha carbon there is no hydrogen. So when this mixture is treated with concentrated KOH or NaOH followed by acidification, what happens? Which one undergoes oxidation, which one undergoes reduction? So you remember smaller one in which steric hindrance is less around carbonyl carbon undergoes oxidation. Other one undergoes reduction. So how to write the products? You observe HCO. Just insert oxygen between H and carbon. You can get the carboxylic acid, formic acid. And benzaldehyde, you break the CO pi bond. You break CO pi bond and attach hydrogen to oxygen and hydrogen to carbon. This is benzyl alcohol. So when mixture of two different aldehydes without alpha hydrogen is taken, smaller one undergoes oxidation, other one, bulkier one, undergoes reduction. Next, electrophilic substitution reactions given by aldehydes and ketones. ESR reactions. Here, let us take benzaldehyde. CHO group is the key group. C double bond O is in connection with conjugation with CC pi bond of the benzene ring. Here pi electron pair is shifted onto benzene ring. So CHO group is acting as electron withdrawing group by minus R effect. Like this, the electron density present on benzene ring is decreased. It is taken by CHO. So CHO acts as electron withdrawing group. It can withdraw electron density from ortho position as well as from para position. So resonance hybrid between C and O partial double bond, carbons, between any two carbons partial double bond. Oxygen gets partial negative charge while ortho carbons and para carbons can get partial positive charge. So whenever electrophile like Cl plus is coming, it prefers to attack at meta position. So Benzaldehyde or aromatic ketone acts as meta-directing group. The incoming electrophile prefers to attack at meta position. So CHO acting as meta-directing group and ring deactivating group. Next topic, carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acids are organic compounds containing carboxyl functional group. COOH is the carboxyl functional group. So this is made up of two types of functional groups, carbonyl functional group as well as hydroxyl functional group. That's why commonly called as carboxyl functional group. Based on the COOH, number of the COOH groups, these are divided into monocarboxylic acids, dicarboxylic acids, tricarboxylic acids, etc. So basically these are divided into monocarboxylic acids, dicarboxylic acid, tricarboxylic acids, etc. After that, aliphatic carboxylic acid as well as aromatic carboxylic acids. Aliphatic carboxylic acid with long carbon chain with even number of carbons also called fatty acids. Coming to the nomenclature, COOH is the chain terminating functional group. Since this is chain terminating functional group, moreover COOH gets highest priority in the seniority table. It gets almost number 1 rank. That's why carbon of the COOH gets number 1 only. Including that carbon, you select the main carbon chain and numbering also from COOH. You select the root word alk followed by primary suffix like ane. E of the ane is substituted by oic acid. Oic acid, the secondary suffix for carboxylic acid. The first member of the carboxylic acids, HCOOH. The general molecular formula of the carboxylic acid CnH2nO2. This is also applicable for esters. Okay, coming to the first member of the carboxylic acids family, root word is meth, primary suffix is ane, oic acid, methanoic acid. Common name is there, formic acid, since it is obtained from formica, red ants. So based on the sources, trivial name or common names are given for carboxylic acids. Next, CH2 double bond CH, COOH. If you take numbering from left to right, 1, 2, 3. Prop. Ene is there. Primary suffix is ene, started at second carbon. So 2 ene. You need not write the 1 oic acid. That is understood. So simply you write oic acid. Whenever you are writing oic acid, the carbon of the COOH is getting number 1. That is understood. Prop 2 enoic acid. Dicarboxylic acids. 2 COOH groups are present in one molecule. Such type of compounds are called dicarboxylic acids. The smallest dicarboxylic acid is this one. Common name is oxalic acid. We know oxalic acid. So 1, 2, IUPAC name. Root word is eth. Primary suffix is ane. 1, 2, dioic acid. Dioic acid. Since 2 oic acids are there. Next member of the dicarboxylic acids, you keep CH2 between those two COOH groups. Propane 1,3-dioic acid. But this common name is malonic acid. If 2 more CH2 groups are there between 2 COOH, this is succinic acid. Similarly, glutaric acid, adipic acid. Simply I have given one method, Ohm's gap, to remember the common names of first 6 dicarboxylic acids. O stands for oxalic acid. Next member of the family, malonic acid, succinic acid, glutaric acid, adipic acid, pimelic acid. Methods of preparation First one by the oxidation of alcohols. Already we have discussed. Alcohols on oxidation by strong oxidizing agents like potassium permanganate or potassium dichromate. Two hydrogens are removed. First aldehyde is obtained. That aldehyde is now considered intermediate only. The aldehyde formed undergoes oxidation further, producing carboxylic acid. If it is secondary alcohol, first ketone is obtained. Ketone won't undergo oxidation further easily like aldehyde. So we have to create drastic conditions and strong oxidizing agent. Then we can get the mixture of two carboxylic acids. Oxidation of alkyl benzene, substituted benzene. Let us take methyl benzene. When methyl benzene is subjected to oxidation with alkaline potassium permanganate, the CH3 group present is oxidized, forming carboxylate because of the base. This carboxylate will be acidified to get acid. So two steps are involved here. Oxidation by means of potassium permanganate alkaline, later acidification to get COOH. So finally what happens, whatever the alkyl group present on benzene ring is oxidized to COOH. Benzoic acid is the final. With irrespective of alkyl group, any alkyl group attached to the benzene ring will be oxidized to give same benzoic acid. So now product is same, but in addition to that, carbon dioxide and H2O also produced, of course. So any alkyl group attached to the benzene ring is oxidized to benzoic acid, but one condition is there: the benzylic carbon should have at least one hydrogen. If it is tertiary butyl which is attached to benzene ring, there is no hydrogen attached to benzylic carbon. So with potassium permanganate, this will not be oxidized to give benzoic acid. Hydrolysis of nitriles and amines. Suppose nitrile RCN, alkyl cyanide or alkane nitrile, when it is subjected to hydrolysis, breaking of H2O molecule into pieces is called hydrolysis. In the presence of acid, you break 3 bonds, or C, N which is removed get converted into ammonia. If it is happening in acidic medium, ammonium ion is formed. If it is the hydrolysis is happening in basic medium, just ammonia gas is released. So finally what happens, triply bonded carbon get converted into carboxylic acid. Attach oxygen through double bond and attach OH through single bond. Then the final product is carboxylic acid. So any cyanide on hydrolysis, either in the presence of acid or in the presence of base, C, RC part will become RCOOH. Suppose CH3C triple bond N. This is ethane nitrile or methyl cyanide. When it is subjected to hydrolysis, H3O plus acid catalyzed hydrolysis, you break the CN triple bond and you can get CH3C. The triply bonded carbon will become COOH, acetic acid. The nitrogen is converted into ammonia or ammonium ion. From alkyl halide, when it is reacted with silver cyanide, we know, not silver cyanide, you take potassium cyanide or sodium cyanide. Cn minus substitutes X minus. We can get RCN and KX. After the formation of alkyl cyanide, if it is subjected to Similarly from amides also. Actually during the mechanism of hydrolysis of cyanide, first amide is formed. This is amide. Amide when subjected to hydrolysis in the presence of acid or base, CN bond is broken, RCOOH carboxylic acid and ammonia is obtained. If it is acid medium, hydrolysis is happening in acid medium, NH3 is converted into ammonium ion. If the hydrolysis is happening in the presence of base, the formed carboxylic acid will be neutralized to give carboxylate. That you have to remember. Next, from Grignard's reagent, by using Grignard's reagent also we can prepare carboxylic acids. When RMgX is reacted with carbon dioxide followed by hydrolysis, we can get carboxylic acid. Or acts as nucleophile in the presence of electrophilic carbon, or immediately comes out in the form of R minus, attacks at electrophilic carbon of the carbon dioxide, producing an intermediate salt-like substance addition product, adduct is obtained. This is nucleophilic addition reaction. RC double bond O minus. To this O minus, MgX plus attached. This is salt-like adduct. After the formation of salt-like adduct, when it is subjected to hydrolysis, O minus takes H plus, forming RCOOH. From acid derivatives also we can prepare carboxylic acids. Suppose RCOCl on hydrolysis, we can get RCOOH. Suppose acid anhydride. This is acid anhydride. On hydrolysis, RCOOH is obtained, plus if you take another one, R prime COOH. Mixture of carboxylic acids is obtained. If you take ester, again it undergoes hydrolysis either in the presence of acid or base catalyst. Since the reactivity is less, acid is used as catalyst here. RCOOH and ROH. We can get the mixture of carboxylic acid and alcohol. This is called ester hydrolysis. Opposite reaction also takes place. Acid plus alcohol react each other in the presence of acid catalyst to give ester. The reversible reaction is esterification. Next, RCONH2 amide. Just now we discussed. Amide also undergoes hydrolysis in the presence of acid or base. It gives RCOOH and NH3. So one thing you have to remember, the reactivity gradually decreased. So towards this hydrolysis, acid halides are more reactive than anhydrides, then esters, and then amides. Chemical properties of carboxylic acids, mainly we have to discuss about the acidic nature. Carboxylic acids can act as acids because they can donate H plus ion. RCOOH undergo deprotonation. They can donate H plus ions and becomes carboxylate. So carboxylate is the conjugate base. Carboxylic acid is conjugate acid. Now, the relative acidic strength. So the carboxylate ion is stabilized due to conjugation between O minus and CO pi bond, and it gets two resonance structures. Both the resonance structures are 100% identical. That's why the resonance hybrid we can write like this. Between C and O, 1/2 bond only present. -1/2 here, -1/2 here. So because of the conjugation, carboxylate ion is stabilized. Since carboxylate ion is stable, carboxylic acid easily loses H plus to become conjugate base. So carboxylic acids are stronger acids even than alcohols, even than phenols. Relative acidic strength. Electron withdrawing group can increase the acidic strength. Electron donating group can decrease the acidic strength. These are the main factors. So the factor which can stabilize the carboxylate ion can increase the acidic strength. Let us take few examples. Formic acid and acetic acid you take. Formic acid, acetic acid. So here in place of H, CH3 is written. CH3 shows plus I effect. It acts as electron donating group. So electron donating group decreases acidic strength. That's why formic acid is more acidic when compared with acetic acid. Next one, let us take CH2Cl COOH. You compare acetic acid and alpha chloroacetic acid. In between these two, since chlorine is minus I group and electron withdrawing group, so when compared with acetic acid, alpha chloroacetic acid is more acidic. So electron withdrawing group increases acidic strength, electron donating group decreases acidic strength. Few more examples. CH2Cl COOH is more acidic than CH3COOH because of minus I effect. If two chlorines are there, let us take CH3CHCl CH2COOH, CH3CH2CHCl COH. Let us compare these two. Both are having minus I groups, but distance is different. Minus I effect, negative inductive effect, withdrawing nature increases with the decrease in the distance. Here chlorine is on third position. In this case chlorine is on second position. So since chlorine is nearer to COO minus, here minus I effect is strong. That's why 2-chlorobutanoic acid is stronger than 3-chlorobutanoic acid. At the same position, if fluorine is taken instead of chlorine, now 2-fluorobutanoic acid is still more acidic because position is same, but fluorine is stronger minus I group. Next you take two fluorines on the same carbon. Since two minus I groups are there, still it is more acidic. Let us compare aliphatic carboxylic acid and aromatic carboxylic acid. Aromatic carboxylic acid. Here it is acting as electron withdrawing group, alkyl group acting as electron donating group. So automatically benzoic acid is more acidic. Next, other chemical reactions of carboxylic acids. Reaction with phosphorus trichloride, phosphorus pentachloride, thionyl chloride. Any one of these three, what happens? OH of the carboxylic acid is substituted indirectly by chlorine. You can take PCl3 or PCl5 or even SOCl2. The product obtained is nothing but acid chloride. Next one, reaction with ammonia. First neutralization reaction takes place. RCOOH. When it is reacted with ammonia, what happens? H plus is donated by acid. Ammonia takes H plus because of the lone pair at nitrogen. This is neutralization reaction. RCO minus, it becomes carboxylate. NH3 becomes ammonium ion. They get combined forming a salt, ammonium carboxylate. Ammonium carboxylate on heating undergo dehydration, producing amide. So finally the product obtained is amide. Next, reduction. When carboxylic acids are subjected to reduction by certain strong reducing agent like lithium aluminum hydride or B2H6, we can get alcohol or CH2OH. Here one oxygen is removed and two hydrogens are added. Carboxylic acids or even esters, they undergo reduction by using lithium aluminum hydride to get alcohols. Next, very important one, HVZ reaction, Helmholtz-Zelensky reaction. This carboxylic acids containing at least one alpha hydrogen on reaction with halogen in the presence of red phosphorus. Halogen in the presence of red phosphorus, what happens? Substitution of hydrogen from alpha carbon takes place with halogen. So alpha halo carboxylic acid is obtained. From this alpha halo carboxylic acids we can get various types of products. Suppose if it is reacted with ammonia, what happens? In place of XNH2 is attached, we can get amino acid or CHNH2COOH. This is alpha amino acid. We know the importance of alpha amino acids. These are used in the preparation of proteins. Next, the last topic here, amines. Amines are alkyl derivatives of ammonia. Let us take ammonia. N undergoes sp3 hybridization. Lone pair is present in sp3 orbital. It has trigonal pyramidal structure. Bond angle is less than 109 degrees because of the strong repulsions from lone pair. So everything we know, because of the lone pair, electron pair donor is base according to Lewis theory. Ammonia, when one hydrogen atom of ammonia is substituted, if one alkyl group is introduced into the molecule of ammonia, we can get monoalkyl derivative of ammonia, that is called 1 degree amine. If two alkyl groups are introduced into the molecule of ammonia, we can get 2 degree amine. If three hydrogens of ammonia replaced with 3 alkyl groups, we can get 3 degrees. So based on the degree of alkylation of ammonia, amines are divided into 3 types, 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree. So here N is attached to only one carbon, 1 degree amine. N is attached to 2 other carbons, 2 degree amine. N is attached to 3 carbons. So to how many carbons N is attached based on the 3 types of amine. If N is attached to benzene ring directly, that is aromatic amine. N is directly attached to. So aryl group is introduced into the molecule of ammonia. Since N is directly attached to benzene ring, it is aromatic amine. Example, aniline. Next, nomenclature. Let us take 1 degree amine or NH2. Alkyl amine. First you write the name of alkyl group followed by amine, that becomes IUPAC name. Common name. According to IUPAC system, what you have to do? Alk, you write it as alk, followed by primary suffix like ane, followed by secondary suffix amine. If more than 2 carbons are there in the main carbon chain, you have to mention the location of the amine also, to which carbon N is attached. So alkane amine is the IUPAC name. If it is 2 degree amine, same procedure. Now this is the smaller alkyl group is taken as substituent. Other one is main carbon chain. So alkyl, since attached to N, the prefix is N-alkyl. This is prefix. After writing prefix N-alkyl, you write root word alk followed by primary suffix and then amine. If it is 3 degree amine, same procedure. You select one as main carbon chain among 3 alkyl groups. Which one is having more number of carbons? Longest carbon chain holding nitrogen is taken as parent carbon chain, and the remaining two alkyl groups are now considered substituents. Since if both are identical, we can use NN dialkyl. If both the alkyl groups are identical, NN dialkyl followed by alk followed by AN followed by amine along with the position. If both the alkyl groups are different, we have to write them in the alphabetical order: N-alkyl, N-alkyl, alkanamine. Let us take few examples regarding the nomenclature. The smallest amine, CH3NH2. General molecular formula of the amine CnH2n plus 3n. Methylamine is the common name. Methylamine is the common name. Meth, primary suffix automatically "-ane" followed by amine. Methanamine is the IUPAC name. Let us take a few more. CH3CHNH2. This is primary amine because N is attached to only one carbon. First you select the longest carbon chain holding nitrogen. Now numbering from left to right, because carbon has carbon which is bearing functional group should get the smallest possible number. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 methyl, then root word, but, primary suffix is "-ane". Amine is at second position, that's why you write 2 amine. Otherwise 2 can be mentioned even after amine also. 3 methyl butanamine 2, like that also we can write. If it is 2 degree amine, CH3 CH2NH CH3 CH3. This is 2 degree amine because N is attached to 2 other carbons. At this time you select the main carbon chain, longest carbon chain containing highest number of carbons. Numbering, the carbon holding functional group should have the smallest possible number. So at second position, substituent is there. That substituent is nothing but ethyl. Ethyl is attached to N. So you have to write the substituent N-ethyl. N-ethyl. Root word is prop. Primary suffix is -ane. Amine, functional group N is attached to second position. That's why 2 amine. Let us take 3 degree amine. CH3N, CH2, CH3, here CH2, CH2, CH3. Suppose this is given. Among these 3 alkyl groups, the longest one you have to select as main carbon chain. This is the longest carbon chain, numbering from left to right: 1, 2, 3. So there are 2 substituents, one is ethyl, other one is methyl. So you arrange those 2 substituents in alphabetical order: N-ethyl, N-methyl. This is the prefix. Then root word is prop. Primary suffix is -ane. Then functional group amine is attached at first carbon. That's why 1 amine. I hope it is clear. When we want to write the common name, you write the names of those 3 alkyl groups: ethyl, methyl, propyl, amine. If you want to write the common name, ethyl, methyl, N-propyl, of course, N-propyl, amine. Like this also you can write. If aromatic amines are there, common name is there: aniline. This is aniline, benzene amine or aniline. If substituent is there, suppose CH3 at meta position, the common name is toluidine, meta toluidine. Otherwise 3-methyl-aniline. Its name is 3-methyl-aniline. Coming to the methods of preparation of amines. Amines are prepared from nitro compounds by reduction. For the reduction purpose, we can use catalytic reduction, H2 present on catalyst, metal catalyst like palladium, or zinc HCl, iron HCl, or tin HCl, that is called acid medium. So example, when nitrobenzene is subjected to reduction by acid medium like tin HCl, NO2, it loses 2 oxygens and it takes 2 hydrogens. Totally 6 hydrogens are involved here. 2 oxygens are removed in the form of 2H2O. 2 hydrogens are attached to the nitrogen. Then the final product is aniline. So nitroalkane on reduction by acid medium like tin HCl, 2 oxygens are removed in the form of 2H2O and 2 hydrogens are attached to the nitrogen. So addition of hydrogens, removal of oxygen, strong reduction is taking place to give amines. Ammonolysis of alkyl halides, another method. So ammonolysis meaning ammonia molecule undergoing breaking. Ammonia molecule is broken. If NH2 and H both are broken and alkyl group is introduced into the ammonia molecule. So when alkyl halide is added to ammonia, what happens? Nucleophilic substitution reaction takes place. With lone pair, it attacks at electrophilic carbon. X minus is removed. That X minus takes H plus from N. It is like revenge. X minus takes revenge on ammonia molecule and it takes H plus from ammonia, producing RNH2 HX. So RNH2 also base. It also undergoes nucleophilic substitution reaction. If RX is there, one more hydrogen is replaced with alkyl group. Now RNH or 2 degree amine is obtained. So we keep on substituting hydrogens with alkyl groups. So we can get 3 types of amines. Finally, we can get quaternary ammonium salts also. Next, coming to the preparation methods from nitriles, reduction of nitriles. RCN, when it is reduced with hydrogen in the presence of nickel, 2 pi bonds are broken and 2 hydrogens at carbon, 2 hydrogens at nitrogen added, we can get 1 degree amine. Reduction of amides, RCONH2. Reduction means addition of hydrogen, removal of oxygen, or both. When LiAlH4 is used, oxygen is removed and hydrogens are attached. Oxygen is removed from carbon and 2 hydrogens are attached to the carbon. So finally, amide undergoes reduction with LiAlH4 to give amine, primary amine. If you take secondary amide, we can get secondary amine. If you take tertiary amide, we can get tertiary amine. So by this method, we can prepare 3 types of amines. Hoffmann bromamide degradation. This is very, very important one. Hoffmann bromamide degradation. When amide is reacted with bromine in the presence of alkali, so CO part is removed. This is not mechanism, this is just for understanding purpose. CO is removed, we can get primary amine. That CO part will become Na2CO3. Bromine is converted into sodium bromide and finally H2O molecule also obtained. This is Hoffmann bromamide degradation. If it is acetamide, CH3CONH2 subjected to Hoffmann bromide degradation, we can get, just you remove CO, the amine with 1 carbon less when compared with the parent amide is obtained, CH3NH2. So parent amide has 2 carbons, amine has only 2 carbons. If you take propanamide, you remove this CO and write the amine, CH3, CH2, NH2. Amine with 2 carbons obtained from amide with 3 carbons. So chemical properties of amines, basically basic nature of amines. One which takes H plus, proton acceptor is base according to Bronsted theory. Lone pair donor is base according to Lewis theory. If H plus is available, ammonia or amine can act as base according to Lewis theory as well as according to Bronsted theory. So it donate lone pair and it takes proton or NH3 plus. This is conjugate base, this is conjugate acid. So the basic strength depends on the stability of conjugate acid. At the same time, the basic strength depends how easily it is donating lone pair. If the donor atom is a larger atom, it donates lone pair easily and acts as strong base. If the electron density at nitrogen is increased, obviously it takes H plus easily and it acts as strong base. So basic strength is increased by electron donating group but decreased by electron withdrawing group. You have to remember these points. If you take few examples, ammonia, RNH2, RRNH, RRRN. Left to right, electron donating groups are increased. That's why basic strength gradually increased. This is in vapor state. In aqueous solution, what happens? A small difference. 2 degree amine only will become strongest base in aqueous solution. In aqueous solution, among these three, 2 degree amine only strongest base. 2 degree, next to 3 degree, next to 1 degree, and ammonia. This is only in aqueous solution. In vapor state, you have to remember, in vapor phase, 3 degree greater than, 2 degree greater than, 1 degree greater than ammonia. In aqueous solution, because of the degree of hydration, degree of hydrogen bonding is more in 2 degree, it is more basic. Next, aliphatic amines and aromatic amines, if you want to compare, here this is electron donating group, NH2. Lone pair is not staying only at nitrogen. Because of the conjugation, what happens? Lone pair is moving on to benzene ring also. So whenever lone pair is in conjugation, delocalization takes place and the availability of lone pair is less to take H plus. That's why basic strength decreased. So if lone pair is less available, basic strength decreased. That's why aromatic amines are weaker bases when compared with aliphatic amines. And in aromatic amines, aniline and nitro group is electron withdrawing group. So since it is electron withdrawing group, basic strength is decreased. Let us take another example, orthomethylaniline. Orthomethylaniline and aniline you compare. Since methyl is electron donating group, we can think as electron donating group is increasing basic strength, but still CH3 is decreasing basic strength. So electron withdrawing group decreases basic strength. Even electron donating group also decreasing basic strength of aniline. This is called ortho effect. Any group present at ortho position can decrease the basic strength of aniline. That is called ortho effect. Regarding benzoic acid, any group present at ortho position can increase the acidic strength. That is also called ortho effect. So remember, any group present at ortho position can increase the acidic strength of benzoic acid, can decrease the basic strength of aniline. Next, chemical properties, other chemical properties of amines. It undergoes acylation. When amine is reacted with acylating agent, as an acylating agent we can take acid chloride or acid anhydride. This is nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction. With lone pair it attacks at C, Cl minus is removed, Cl minus takes H plus from N. So finally what happens, in place of H of amine, RCO, acyl group is introduced. That's why the process is called acylation. H of the amine is substituted with acyl group. The process is called acylation. We can get N-alkyl alkanamide. RCONH2 is called amide, we know, but alkyl group is considered substitute. N-alkyl alkanamide is the product. As acylating agent, even we can use acid anhydride also. Next reaction, very important one regarding amines, carbylamine test. Carbylamine reaction or isocyanide test. This is used for the testing of primary amine. Primary amine, when it is reacted with the mixture of chloroform and alkali, we can get a compound with offensive odor, alkyl isocyanide. So this is alkyl isocyanide. So with the help of its odor you can recognize. So if you get a compound with offensive odor, that is nothing but primary amine. So when three types of amines are given, 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree, to identify which is 1 degree amine, this is the suitable test. 2 degree amine, 3 degree amine, they won't give isocyanide test. Diazotization, diazonium salts are formed when primary amine aliphatic reacted with nitrous acid in the presence of nitrous acid, that is produced in situ when the mixture of sodium nitrite and hydrochloric acid added. NaNO2, sodium nitrite and HCl produces nitrous acid. It gives diazonium salt, alkyl diazonium chloride, 2 nitrogens, diazo, alkyl diazonium chloride. This is highly unstable since R is electron donating group. So immediately it undergoes hydrolysis to produce the final product, alcohol. Instead of aliphatic amine, if you take aromatic amine, on diazotization, diazonium group is introduced into the molecule. That process is called diazotization. When it is reacted with the mixture HNO2, if the temperature is maintained 0 to 5 degrees of centigrade, NH2 becomes N2 plus benzene diazonium salt. This is benzene diazonium salt. This benzene diazonium salt is stable if you maintain the temperature 5 degrees centigrade. So aryl diazonium salts are stable when compared with alkyl diazonium salts. Electrophilic substitution reactions. Lone pair of the nitrogen is shifted onto benzene ring, increasing electron density at ortho and para positions. That's why NH2 group acts as plus R group, increases electron density at ortho para directing group. So it can suggest the incoming electrophile to attack at ortho and para positions. So NH2 group of aniline acting as ortho para directing group. Bromination. When aniline is reacted with bromine in the presence of water polar solvent, since NH2 is very strong donating group, strong electron donating group and strong ring activating group, benzene ring is activated properly at ortho and para positions. So 3 bromonium ions are attached at 3 positions to get 2,4,6 tribromoaniline. If you want to prepare monobromoaniline, there is one alternate method. We have to suppress the donating nature of NH2. So monobromination can be done first by converting into amide group. So when it is reacted with acylation, reacted with acetic anhydride or acid chloride, NH2 undergoes acylation. So NHCOCH3. Here since CO is attached to N, the donating nature of N is decreased. Now NHCOCH3 still it is electron donating group, but ring activation is less. So under these conditions, when it is subjected to bromination in the presence of acetic acid at ortho position or at para position, bromine is attached. So para bromoacetanilide is obtained. When this is subjected to hydrolysis, we can get back aniline. So para bromoaniline is obtained along with the orthobromoaniline. So monobromination can be done by converting NH2 into acylation. So by the acylation of NH2, we can suppress the donating nature of NH2. Same procedure when nitration, when aniline is reacted with concentrated nitric acid in the presence of H2SO4, we can get three types: orthonitroaniline, metanitroaniline, as well as paranitroaniline. Since NH2 is orthopara directing group, we can expect orthonitroaniline as well as paranitro. But here even metanitroaniline also obtained. Since NH2 is basic group, it becomes NH3 plus in the presence of strong acidic mixture. That's why it acts as even meta-directing group. Now sulfonation. When aniline is reacted with sulfuric acid, first salt is obtained, anilinium hydrogen sulfate. On heating, anilinium hydrogen salt is converted into para-aminobenzene sulfonic acid or 4-aminobenzene sulfonic acid. Since two types of groups are there, acid group as well as basic group, both are there, H plus is transferred from SO3H to NH2 to give a Zwitter ion. So this is Zwitter ion, the ion which has positive charge as well as negative charge. Generally ion may have positive or negative, but here in this case two charges are there in the same species. That's why it is called Zwitter ion or inner salt. Next, last topic, diazonium salts. We know benzene diazonium chloride. Benzene diazonium chloride is obtained from aniline by the reaction with nitrous acid. From this benzene diazonium chloride, by the replacement reactions, we can get various types of compounds. Sand-Meyer reaction in the beginning only we have discussed. When diazonium salt is reacted with the mixture of cuprous chloride and HCl, N2 plus is replaced with Cl forming chlorobenzene. If you take Cu2Br2, you can get bromobenzene. And when diazonium salt is reacted with potassium iodide, N2 plus is replaced with iodide, we can get iodobenzene. To prepare fluorobenzene, first it is diazonium salt is heated with hydrofluoroboric acid, fluoroboric acid. Then we can get benzene diazonium boron tetrafluoride. This is also a salt. When it is heated, decomposition takes place to give fluorobenzene, boron trifluoride and N2 gas. Instead of just heating, if it is heated with NaNO2 in the presence of copper, now N2 plus is replaced with NO2 producing nitrobenzene. If benzene diazonium chloride is heated with warm water, OH of the warm water replaces N2 plus producing phenol. When it is reacted with ethyl alcohol or aqueous solution of hypophosphorus acid, what happens? N2 plus is replaced with hydrogen to get benzene. So by these replacement reactions, we can get very, very important compounds. That's why benzene diazonium salts are very, very important compounds. Coupling reactions, it acts as electrophile. And when benzene diazonium salt is reacted with benzene containing electron donating groups, ring activating groups like OH, NH2, what happens? Two rings get attached with each other through N double bond, N bond. Such type of compounds are called are acting as dyes, organic dyes. So when aniline is benzene diazonium salt is reacted with phenol in the presence of mild alkali, we can get para-hydroxyazobenzene. This is OH is at para position, so para-hydroxyazobenzene, which has orange color. So orange color dye is obtained whenever phenol is reacted with benzene diazone. Instead of phenol, if aniline is used under mild conditions of acid, under acidic conditions, we can get para-amino azobenzene. We can get its color is yellow. So different colored organic dyes we can obtain from benzene diazone. So benzene diazonium salts are very, very important commercially. So with this, I wanted to conclude the synopsis. So you must go through the NCERT textbook to cover all synopsis. Okay, all the